Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at a little sneak peek into the editing process for this book right here, SUNSWORN Edge of Annihilation. This is my project on Indiegogo. It's currently funding. We are successful. The book is happening, but of course we want to get those numbers up, get as many people on board with this as possible. So if you have not yet checked out or backed SUNSWORN, I would definitely encourage you to do so. But yeah, let's get on to the editing. Today, I wanted to give you all a little inside look into my writing / editing process. Now, the way I handle things, the first draft, you just kind of write it, just get it down, get it down on paper or onto your computer, and go with it. Just do it, get it done. And then when I go back to the second draft, what I really focus on is characters and making sure their dialogue kind of matches up with their personality, make sure they're doing the things that character would do, make sure they're developing properly, and of course, try to fix as many spelling and grammatical errors as I can in that process. So we're on the third draft currently, and what I do here is I'm using a program called Hemingway Editor. You can find that at hemingwayapp.com. It's a nice, nifty little program. It's free. You just enter your text in. I do this for each chapter, and it kind of highlights things you might need to fix. Now, the yellow here says 21 of 282 sentences are hard to read. So what we want to do is kind of go inside here and fix them up a little bit, make them a little easier to read. The red you're looking at is very hard sentences to read, so we definitely want to focus on those. Now, some of the yellow, some of the hard to read aren't really that hard to read. It's just kind of the program doing its thing, and some of those can remain as is. The red, however, are pretty bad and need to be fixed up. Now, I realize watching somebody edit isn't necessarily as as entertaining and compelling as watching somebody draw, but I figured some people might be interested in this stuff, so let's take a look. This is the introduction of Serath, one of the antagonists in SUNSWORN, and we'll begin with him. Serath paced back and forth behind his pilots on the bridge of the Warhawk Reprisal, his deep purple robes billowing with each step. Now, what we can probably do here to make this a little bit easier is maybe eliminate back and forth. So Serath paced behind his pilots on the bridge. Then to follow that up, what we could do is just split this into two sentences, make it just a tad easier to read. So take that away and voila. Serath paced behind his pilots on the bridge of the Warhawk Reprisal, his deep purple robes billowing with each step. So we just take out billowing and change that to billowed. He only stood between 5 and 6 feet, but his fearsome presence was palpable. Now we come to another yellow sentence here, which is somewhat hard to read. Serath was Sleesk, a lithe reptilian species with smooth, dark, scaly skin and pointed teeth and small hooked claws. So now how do we pare this down? We could just try to take out smooth. So now we have dark, scaly skin, pointed teeth, and small hooked claws. So, there's not too much more we can do with this sentence, really, is there? It's kind of an introduction and description of his species. Serath was Sleesk, a lithe reptilian species with dark, scaly skin, pointed teeth, and small hooked claws. So we could probably eliminate that comma. And, that's that's about as good as we can get without removing too much detail there that you want to know about this species. Now next, this red sentence. Let's see what we can do with this. Despite the species' vicious reputation, it was Serath's position in the violent circle and ability with Empyrean Amethyst, as well as his skill in personal combat, that kept his subordinates in line. Now that is a lot to chew on, and we can probably break this up into a few sentences. So where do we start with that? So I think what I'm going to choose to do here is get rid of all of this, right? All of it. And we'll just kind of start fresh with that and say it wasn't Seraph's position in the violet circle, or his species' fierce reputation that kept his subordinates, in line. It was his ability, how about we go with his mystical and, oh man, I'm fucking up things left and right here. Mystical and martial prowess his bloodlust. Now, let's go back here. It was his mystical and martial prowess coupled with his bloodlust. So let's break that up into two words. Violet Circle is an organization. We want to capitalize this. And there we go. So we got a couple, we still have some yellow here. So can we do anything with that? Yeah, the first line is kind of out. It wasn't Seraph's position in the Violet Circle or his species' fierce reputation that kept his subordinates in line. Hard to read? I don't think so. I think that's okay. What do you think? Let me know. It was his mystical and martial prowess coupled with his, how about notorious bloodlust? There we go. So that's a little bit easier to read there. The sentence structure is a little more put together. Yeah, this, anytime Seraph is involved, he is Sleesk, reptilian species. So what I did here is kind of extend his S's. So, you know, like here, for example, I got to keep an eye on these things because they're not really misspellings. They're just not spellings that any program is going to recognize, right? So destroy every last ship, Captain. That's how Seraph speaks. And Captain Call, of course, that's his name. That's not in the program either. I guess we could enter it in. But, yeah, except that one. The minister said, extending a clawed finger toward a lone vessel hovering just beyond the conflict on the holographic view screen. So what we could probably do here is just get rid of on the holographic view screen. There we go. It's hovering just beyond the conflict. We got a bunch of adverbs here, and Hemingway says no to adverbs. So this one I think is fitting, though. I think it fits just fine. The minister said, extending a clawed finger toward a lone vessel hovering just beyond the conflict. And since we have a clawed finger down here, these are some other things we'll recognize in editing. We might not necessarily have to say, you know, talk about his claws up here, right? Because we're pointing it out after. Seraph was Sleesk, a lithe reptilian species with dark scaly skin, pointed teeth, and small hooked claws. So, you know, we could probably add something in there beyond hooked claws, but what should we do? Well, why don't we describe an aspect of the species beyond physical? How about that? And a penchant for violence. There we go. So we have Sleesk, a lithe reptilian species with dark scaly skin, pointed teeth, and a penchant for violence. What do you think? Keep violence? Should we change that up? Nah, I think we'll let that go for the time being. So we come down here. Minister, call ask, confused by the order. Prior to the engagement, Overlord Vice made it clear that he wanted his first strike to leave no survivors. So in purple here we have, if we look down here, phrases have simpler alternatives. So what do they suggest? Before. So if we click on that, before the engagement, Overlord Vice made it clear. And you know what? I just noticed I don't even have quotations on this. Oh, you know, I don't need quotations on this. You know what? See, I'm screwing myself up. This is to describe to you, the reader, what's going on. So accept that one. And so he's making an exception here. And Captain Call is pointing out Minister. And just to, you know, clue the reader in, he's confused by the order. Before the engagement, Overlord Vice made it clear that he wanted this first strike to leave no survivors. Now, I think that yellow is okay as well. And Sarath responds, intensify your scans, Captain. There is Empyrean crystal aboard that cruiser. I can feel it. So the captain saying Ulthar, which is the disciples of Ul. It's just another name for them. The emerald-wielding mystics in the Astral Union. But we have another adverb here. So the captain said knowingly. So what do we get? So we just get rid of that? Yeah, the captain said. Or we could just say the captain asked. How about that? Or actually, why don't we go with the captain reasoned? Yeah? How's that sound? Okay, so, yeah, coming down here, the green is uses of passive voice. And now we have Sarath saying, these cowards are no danger to us, and the crystal is to be harvested intact. You know, I think that's okay. The passive voice there is not too bad. It meets the goal down here. It says a 57 or fewer, so we've only got 5, and that's pretty good. So, yeah, this is just kind of an intro to the editing process. Tell you what, everybody, let me know what you think of these types of videos. If you'd like to see more of this, let me know that in the comments below. If it's not so interesting, you can say that too. But yeah, might do more of these in the future. But yeah, I would encourage you, if you're new to writing and you're looking to edit, check out Hemingway Editor at hemingwayapp.com. It's a great program. It's free. You just cut and paste it into the browser. And it's really, really helpful. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. Leave some comments below. And definitely please go back SUNSWORN. It's coming to a close in 24 days is what we have left. And yeah, thank you so much everyone who has supported that project already. Everybody who shows up and supports the channel. We love all of you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.